So, guys, this is my weekly report for October 17th. I'm going to go over and tell you a little bit what I did this week. Earlier in the week, I was over at consulting down in the Delta over by Sherman, and we caught a lot of stripers. It didn't take long. I was showing them how to go into these shallow flats and throw these 5-inch swim baits. We saw bird activity buzzing around, and those are better than any fish finder you could ever have. And we got into them. We caught a lot of stripers, had a lot of fun. They learned a lot, taught them a lot about tides. Went out and did some spooning, but there were a lot of little fish. But overall, we had a good day, caught plenty of fish. And then I was up north yesterday, up at Liberty, and throwing some top water stuff. And when we had Warren and I went, and I had 3 eat mine, and Warren had one on, and he lost it by the boat. And these are like 5 to 7 pound fish. There's not a whole lot of them in there yet, but with this weather we have, like the rain we had yesterday, and cooling temperatures, the water temperature of the day was 68. The week before was 74. So it's definitely cooling down. We got a little rain like I was praying we'd get, and it should pick up really good here real quick. So, the stripers will be showing up in bigger numbers now, and hopefully that'll start turning on. So anyway, I got a Washington Outboard Derby this Saturday. Hopefully some of the fish moved into the port, so I can go over there and show these folks how to catch them. And I'm fishing with Warren and Dave, so we ought to go out there and see if we can catch some fish. Other things I've been doing this week, obviously I've been taking my grandson deer hunting, and we've seen some, but he hasn't gotten a shot off yet. But here pretty quick, he should have one down on the ground. But other than that, I'm anticipating with this kind of weather and little rain that it's gonna get these fish stripers to start moving into the delta, which normally they're down there this time of the year already, and they spend the whole winter down there feeding, getting ready to head up the river when it starts warming up in the spring to go spawn. So I'm anticipating a good bite here coming up pretty quick, so get your stuff and get ready to go. Other than that, this weather we're having as far as like going out in the ocean and stuff has been really rough. It's been more windy days and rough seas than it has been calm. But guys that are biting at the bit to get out there to try to catch some bluefin, because there's guys that are being able to get out there in the last minute, have been hooking some fish, so they know they're out there. Albacore fishing, haven't heard too much, but I know up north they were getting them fairly close, but I haven't heard in the last week. So you're gonna have to go online and check it out and see whether it's worth going out there. Watch for that temperature line to see how far it is and which way it's going. Because when it's on its way in, you could bet that you could probably go out and maybe overnight be 10 miles closer. It's going out, it could be the opposite. You could be going out 40, 50, 60 miles, which makes it a long day. But other than that, the ocean fishing, bottom fishing to open up, in the 50 fathoms. So they're out there fishing in that deeper water, 300 to 400 feet. And there are 2 guys that I know, Cal Don, James Smith, and Rick Powers or Bodega. They've both been going out there, and they've both been hammering those big lings. A lot of big lings, a lot of big rockfish, a lot of reds. They get all kinds of different kind of rockfish out there, and it's just on fire right now. And then November 2nd, Dungeness crab season opens, so a lot of those guys will be dropping their pots on the way out, go out, get their limits of rockfish, come back in, pull the pots, and get limits of crabs. And last year they were dumping them, in that 200, 250 feet. They're getting jumbo crabs. So you go out there and get a sack of big rockfish, lingcod, and crabs. You're gonna have a lot of table fare. So that's all right around the corner, and we'll see what happens. But it should be, the outlook looks really good. So just depending on the weather and whether you can get out there or not. So, if you're interested in doing it, I would call them guys now. Just Google them, give them a call, and see what dates they have that's available, because they will be doing a lot of combo trips. So other than that, inside the San Francisco Bay, um, I'm sure there's still some halibut out there. I don't know if the bait receiver is open yet. I would definitely make some phone calls. Um, as far as like stripers, there was a lot of stripers still in the bay. And what happens is the water temperature on our river systems in Delta is too warm, so they're going to stay out there. Plenty of food for them, so they'll stay out there until it cools off, water starts dropping in temperature. Then they'll leave the bay and they'll start coming in the Delta. And hopefully that's what's happening right now. So, if you want, you could still go out to the bay and catch some stripers and halibut and leopard sharks. The leopard shark fishing this year has been off the hook. When Jay Lopes and those guys were going out there, they were catching 20 to 50 fish a day, half a day, and just having a lot of fun. So other than that, come on inwards and get it out of the bay. You're going to get in our river systems. The sturgeon fishing has been really good. It's all catch and release. Make sure you read the regs, because they changed a lot of the regulations. So, you're allowed to catch and release. You can't take them out of the water if they're a certain size. So make sure you read. And, guys, you need to fill out your report cards, because that's where they get all their data from. And in previous years, I know a lot of guys didn't fill that report card out, and look what it did. So it's, they can't get no info, so that means there's no fish. So you talk to a guy like Jay or Steve Mitchell, Richie Acosta, those guys, they're out there catching 10 to 20 sturgeon a day. So, I don't think there's any shortage. It's just that the report cards that have been reporting, people haven't been doing it. So just make sure you get those report cards done, and just remember, it's all catch and release now. Stripers, getting back to there, it's right around the corner. I got a lot of friends that are out there fishing. One day they'll go out there and catch 10 or 20. Next day go back and get 3 or 4. That's how it's been for me, and I give up really easy. So like the other day when I fished for stripers for an hour, and I caught 3 more and hooked at one and lost it, and the tide was dropping out. So I just put that stuff away and I just went bass fishing, because the bass fishing has been off the hook. But getting back to stripers, I know guys that are trolling, and they're also doing good. When you have small pots of fish come in the system, the guys that troll, they cover so much water that, sooner or later they're going to run into a school, and they might catch 5, they might catch 10. They keep trolling along, don't get nothing, and all of a sudden find another school. So, they're trolling the deep diving Yozuri lures. They put it out about 60 to 80 feet behind the boat, and they're trolling anywhere from 15 down to 22 feet of water. I'm sure when you find a school, you could stop. These guys are fishing in, like 15 to 20, and I've been focusing my fishing in 2 to 5 feet of water, because I know that, when you go out, and if the tide's no good, I'll go out in deeper water and try spooning for them, and I'll graft them. And then once the tide starts coming up, I'm going to be moving into them flats. These fish know tides. So every day of a fish's life, the tide goes up and down 2 times. They know it. They learn it. They know where to go when. And, it's helped me over the years to learn about tides and learn about bait fish, where they hide, what time, where they like to be. And that's my number one when I do my consulting, is I tell people that study the food, because if you go to where the food is, you're going to catch the fish. So, the striper fishing, like I said, you could go trolling, which is probably a better way of doing it if you don't understand tides, is because you're going to cover more ground. So until you start learning and realizing, how easy I've been out there, and last year I was spooning a lot of them when the tide wasn't right. As soon as it came up, I go into the flats and just slaughter them. So, it just takes a lot of time on the water, or hire me for a consultant. So other things going on is crappie fishing starting to turn on. The crappie bite down the delta has been really good. Um, Up north, my brother and a couple friends of mine have been catching a ton of them. A lot of them are small right now because it's a little bit early, but a lot of the fish are moving in as it gets colder into the winter. The bigger ones will start showing up. I'm sure they're not far away from there where they're at now, but they just move up shallow and feed more, when the water cools off. And I was up at Berryessa last week bass fishing, spooning, and I actually caught three crappie, three nice ones that were, twice the size of my hand in 35, 40 feet of water on a 2 ounce spoon of all boot. I was bass fishing. So, the crappie fishing in all the lakes that you have a favorite lake, Comanche or whatever, it's going to happen real quick as the weather starts cooling. So bass, like I said, I was at Berryessa throwing spoons for bass, and in the fall, that's been kind of one of my favorite things to do is go to these lakes and do some spooning on bass. Last year, I did a video at Folsom in the fall spooning and just killed them. So what happens is the bait fish, again, study them because you're going to find out that, in the fall, those shad will move up to the main creek channels and they spawn. Well, when you get these spawning threadfin shad that are like 3 and 4 inches long, there's going to be a wolf pack of big fish following them all the way. So usually I just graft them. I look for greaves around on the lake, so I know if the greaves are around there, there's got to be bait fish. So I'll start grafting, and then all of a sudden, I'll find a school and just have at it. So this is the time of the year. Berryessa is probably my favorite one for spooning. It's just a lake that's been really good to me over the past 20 years, and I've caught some monster fish out there. I spoon catfish, trout. I even spoon browns, kings, smallmouth, largemouth, spotted bass. If you want to learn how to do it, because there is a technique of spooning. You just don't drop it down and jig it. One of the best guys to hire is Don Paganelli. You could Google him. He's been doing it with us for a long time. He knows exactly how to do it. We're using Blade Runner spoons. I also did really good on Rick's Blade Runner flutter spoon and doing it the same technique. I did a video on that too. You can look up all my videos and watch how I do this. I did a lot explaining how to flip-flop it, like a shad is dying. So the presentation, I'm actually just putting the spoon on the bottom and rocking it like it's dying. So trout, Pyramid Lake, it's still doing really well. You got an algae bloom there, but Mark at Gone Fishing was there 2 days ago, and they had like 12 over 15 pounds, and they were just jigging them. And then a friend of mine was up there last week, John, and he was trolling, and he caught, and Tim was there too, another boat, and they both caught, 20 fish, 30 fish a day, and they had a lot of big ones, a lot of fish in the teens. And then that algae bloom came, and they're still catching them, but it's just trolling through that muck. So I was supposed to go yesterday or day before. I was supposed to go, and I canceled it because of all the algae bloom up there. It looks like I probably should have went. So anyway, also for trout, Berryessa has been a hot lake. New Melones, Orville, and Shasta, they've all been really good throughout the summer. And usually this time of the year, they'll come higher up to the surface, so you don't need downriggers. And Berryessa, those Eagle Lake trout have just gone nuts there. Big Nate's been killing them all year over there and getting big ones. And he's booked solid, so you could call him and see if he has any openings, but he's been just crazy booked. Landlocked Kings, haven't heard too much. I'm sure Orville, Folsom, or Berryessa would be my choices around here if you want to go after them, and I would just troll for them. Kokanee fishing like coming to an end, but you can still go to Bullards, New Melones, Pardee, Stampede. Pardee will be closing here pretty soon. I would call them and see when they're closing. But this is the time of year those kokanee will start heading up toward the main creeks. They'll start getting hooked noses, start turning a little red. But they still smoke up really nice. But you're coming to an end, and fall is here. And also, guys, I want to tell you some events that are going to happen real quick here. Um, this Sunday, October 20th, at Folsom Lake Dodge. So you go to Folsom Lake, get off of Highway 50, and Future Pro Tour is doing a bunch of seminars up there. You can call Future Pro 916-768-0938 and make reservations. But what's happening is Len Vinci, he's with Hummingbird in Minn Kota. He's going to do a hands-on electronics at 10 a.m. You have to call and reserve a spot, and then it's actually hands-on. So they're going to have units there powered up, and he's going to go over everything. That starts at 10. Then at 12:15, I'm going to do something a little different this year. I'm going to do something on fall fishing. So I'll be talking about stripers, bass, any kind of fish that we have around this area for the fall. And then I'm going to do a little bit talking about live target. And then at 1:45, we got Ryan Hall. He's going to talk about bioenzyme lithium batteries. I have them in my boat, and I've had any trouble with them. I did a video because when I first put them in, I messed up. But I can't run them. I can't run them down. And then at 2 o'clock again, they're going to have a second round of hands-on with Len Vinci on electronics. So if you want to see, I know the first one is already filled up. The second one is almost filled. So give them a call if you want to make reservations to go to this event. It should be really nice. And it's at the Dodge dealership in Folsom. Okay, then Saturday, November 2nd, NorCal Guides and Sportsmen Association fundraiser dinner. So basically, these guys fight for your rights. Anytime there's a discrepancy whether they want to close striper season or they want to close sturgeon and all that, well, these guys are in there fighting for the fishermen. So to make it right, so that they don't stop us from doing everything that we really love doing. It's in Marysville, and you can get the tickets online at ncgasa.org. And they have this big dinner. They have big raffles. They give away like 100 guns, 50 guide trips. And they do 5 lifetime hunting and fishing license that they raffle off, or some kind of raffle. And if you want to know more about it, you can go online and look James Stone. He is the president. And if you want, you can give him a shout and see what's going on. And if you want to reserve tickets, I suggest you do it now. And then also, Gone Fishing Marine, if you guys need any boat repairs, electronics, or buy a new boat, go over there and give Mark a call, tell him I sent you. I took my Duckworth back there, and I don't think it's sold yet, but if you're interested in a fully loaded Duckworth that has like 25 hours on it, better go see it. That boat is really nice. Then every Saturday, I'm on California Sportsman, 1140 on the AM dial. I go on at 6:40 every week. And then once in a while, the first of the month, I'm on Ultimate Bass. I go in there at the end and talk with Kent Brown on usually Delta fishing bass. And then also, you guys at Blind Squirrel Channel, check it out. And give him a like and subscribe. He's the type of guy that goes out and videos his fishing trip, whether he catches them or not, and still shows you guys. And also, don't forget, if you guys need any help on electronics, I'm still doing this consulting. I've been limiting myself to only doing 2 a week. And I also do targeting fish, like if you wanted to learn how to punch for bass or kokanee fish, I do that also. You can go to info@allenfongoutdoors.com and go up on the top and look at bookings, and then you could see what I offer. Okay, if you like this video, hit that like, subscribe, and if you want to leave me a comment, I'll get back to you within 2 or 3 days. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.